My trusty 31 Lightning Bolt speeder. I still regret not getting the sunroof option. The Acme warehouse is the former Snow White dry cleaning building. Nobody's used this place in a while. The Golden Gate Hotel was once known as the Waldorf of the Pacific. Its halls are still sturdy, and the walls have worn well, but there's nobody living inside. I heard this newspaper box got destroyed right after Chelsea opened her newsstand. Coincidence? These fire hydrants are commonly used by the locals to mark territory in front of their respective business establishments. Rusty the Clown's novelty shop. Closed down a few months ago after Rusty mysteriously disappeared. The police suspect foul play, but I think he probably just choked to death on his own bad jokes. The Bijou Theater used to be quite a night spot. It was condemned years ago and could collapse any day. There's no way I'm going in there. On the top floor of this place is where I hang my hat. It's not much, but it's better than... well, it's not much. Rook Garner runs this pawn shop. Chelsea runs a first-rate newsstand. This is the brand new electronic shop outlet. No pun intended. I won't be able to get inside the electronic shop until I get a membership card. Francesca Lucido makes the spiciest pizza in the city. The only thing spicier than her cooking is her imagination. And right now she seems to have a thing for me. Louis Laments runs the Brew and Stew, which is a local hangout. These posters somehow survived the big war. They're bitter reminders of the past glory of this great city. Man, there are signs of radioactivity everywhere. The Brew and Stew is run by Louis Laments, a bloated mutant with a heart bigger than his waistline. Everyone comes to Louis' cafe. So does all the street talk. If something's going on, Louis knows about it.
What can I do for you, Mike?
Nothing for me, Louis. I just dropped by to chat.
Okay. What's on your mind?
You don't know anyone who's in need of a highly skilled PI, do you?
Well, now that you mention it, have you talked to Rook today? He might have a job for you. Someone broke into his shop last night.
Thanks for the tip, Louis. I'll go see Rook right now. Ah, the once majestic Chandler Avenue. There's enough radiation in this asphalt to fry an egg on Christmas morning. Rook Garner runs this pawn shop. He's a crusty old World War III vet with a face like a raisin and a tongue like a butcher's cleaver.
What do you want, Murphy?
Fine. How you doing, Rook?
I'm not in the mood for small talk.
Well, then, by all means, let's discuss a serious topic.
Breaking, entering, and robbery serious enough for you, Murphy?
Last night, someone broke into my pawn shop. I don't usually have anything of great value, but yesterday I gave out a fair amount of cash for an extremely valuable diamond bracelet.
How much is a fair amount of cash?
In this case, $8,000.
Boy, that's a lot of clams, Rook.
Don't you think I know that?
The bracelet was pawned by a young girl named Emma Nimpton. She said she hated to hawk a family heirloom, but had no choice. She said she would reclaim the bracelet in a month. Well, since the bracelet was worth 10 times the $8,000 I loaned her, it was a good deal for me.
Did you get any other information from this Emma Nimpton?
She left a phone number. I called her this morning, but the line is disconnected.
So do you have any leads on recovering the bracelet?
No, the police are a waste of time, and I can't afford to hire a decent PI.
I guess this means you don't consider me good enough to help track down the bracelet?
I'd appreciate your help. I'm not a rich man, but if you find the bracelet, I'll owe you a few favors, which could come in handy. Come back here and I'll show you where they broke in.
Rook takes me out back and shows me where the burglar broke in. The back window is busted out and the latch is ripped. It's a sloppy job. As I start my investigation, I'm looking for information to enter into my CrimeLink computer back at the office. One thing's for sure, Emma Nimpton won't be one of the suspects' names. Every PI worth his salt knows that's not my name spelled backwards. Looks like a shoe print is outlined in that sticky pool of something resembling chocolate. Footprints about a size 14. Shard of glass must have come from that broken window. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Looks like whoever broke into Rook's window left one of his hairs behind. Apparently our burglar is a carrot top. These are empty jumbo-sized cans of Camel's chunky chocolate soup. Good. It's one of those basketballs they used to give away at Weenie World. 10 seconds left. Down by 1. Murphy has the ball. He fakes. He drives. It's a 360. He's fouled. This chain link fence doesn't seem to do much except separate Rook's ugly half of the alley from Franny's ugly half of the alley. These disgusting piles of trash remind me of Aunt Betty's annual yard sales. Well, that steep staircase looks really hard to climb. Hey, this door's just painted on. Hey, this door's just painted on. Wow, a recyclable paper can. Finally, a glimmer of ecological responsibility. I didn't know Rook cared. Wow. Wow. wonder what all these garbage cans are doing around here. Maybe Rook is running a low-rent hostel. Whoa! This antique boombox worked. I bet it'd only play the Bee Gees. This old relic probably hasn't worked in years. Hey, there are batteries in here. I wonder if these still work. Tingly tongue. Still got juice. Oh, I would love to see my ex-mother-in-law squeeze through there. Well, this is a section of the Bay City Mirror. It's a weekly newsletter that covers local goings-on written by mutants for mutants. I'd subscribe if they had a comics page. Chelsea Bando's the kind that could hold her own with anyone, but she has a way of turning my knees to jelly. She's a mutant just like everyone else in this part of town, but she's a real beauty.
Well, hello, stranger.
Chelsea, you're breaking my heart.
Why? Because I've got a steady job?
No, it's just you're so beautiful it makes me ache. Let me buy you a drink and I'll tell you where it hurts.
G-Tex, you know, that kind of talk could get you into trouble. But I don't drink with customers.
I'd be happy to throw in a chili dog with that drink.
Well, an offer like that, oh, that's hard to refuse. But no thanks. So, is there something I can do for you? Rook acts like a tough guy, but he's a softie. Just don't tell him that to his face. I love Louis, but his friendliness doesn't fool me. He's a sharp one. He knows everything that's going on in this neighborhood. Franny's a live wire. Either she or Sal is going to do time for killing the other one. I have never seen a couple fight like they do. Sal's a handful. He's a nice guy, but I don't know, I feel kind of naked when he gives me the eye. Luckily, Ardo seems to like me. I mean, if I were on his bad side, I'd be tempted to relocate. He could crush a Subaru with one hand. Wish I could help you there, Tex. I remember Rusty. He had a kid show on TV when I was young. I hated the show. That clown makeup always scared me. Sorry, I haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, I remember Rook told me about the burglary. I remember a stranger hanging around the past couple of days. It might be a dead end, but I seem to remember that the guy had these bright green eyes and a tattoo of an anchor on his arm. The crusade is big. I mean, much bigger than most people know. They have operatives all over, and then these huge sections of the Norm population are joining. Well, they say it's a religion, but then they encourage the members to be violent and prejudiced towards others. Wish I could help you there, Tex. Oh, you know me, Tex. I'm just making ends meet.
I haven't seen Mac Malden since the Martian Memorandum case. I remember him as a surly, incompetent, fat-nosed cop. As I step into his office, I can see he's changed. His nose is even bigger.
Well, if it isn't Tex Murphy. I figured you'd be dead by now.
I could say the same about you. When's the last time you had your cholesterol checked?
Still the wise guy, eh, Murphy? It was great to see you. Now get lost!
Oh, come on. Remember the Martian Memorandum case? Hey, we made a swell team.
Yeah, those were the days. I don't get cases like that anymore. Things are harder now. The mayor's office is all over me again. You heard about the string of pawn shop robberies? We have no suspects, and I'm catching the heat for it.
So you and your crack team of detectives have no leads?
Of course we have leads, you pots. We know he's a Norm, Caucasian, and has AB negative blood. That narrows down our list of suspects to about 1 million. Now get out of my hair. I got work to do.
Oh, looks like Mr. Bum is home for the evening.
Yeah, what do you want?
Is this your, permanent address?
Actually, I have a summer home in Vale, but this spot keeps me in touch with the common people.
Oh, what intriguing stories you winos tell.
I don't drink spirits, punk. Nothing but pure, creamy chocolate. Now get lost!
What can I get you? Rook's an ornery old cuss, but me and him are old buddies. We fought in the big war together. He's one person you can trust in these troubled times. Chelsea acts tough, but she has to be with all the scum around. And she's as smart as she is pretty. She knows a lot of what goes on in the shadows of this city. Yeah, things are a little slow, but I'm getting by. Having to lay off some of my kitchen help hurt my pride more than anything. Granny's a fireball. She and Sal opened a pizza place 7 to 8 years ago, and they've been fighting ever since. Sal's a big guy with an appetite for food, wine, and women. He comes by here most every day for lunch. Bardo comes in now and again. Usually orders a couple of steaks and a chocolate milk. His temper's as short as he is tall, and he's only got one oar in the water. A bad combination. Sorry, Mife. Can't help you there. He was a strange one. He had a show on TV for a while, got pretty popular. Then he quit the show and went into business. He opened up a shop right up the street from here. I guess he wasn't a very good businessman. The shop went out of business within a couple of months. Then Rusty just disappeared. I heard he'd made some enemies in the novelty trade. Rook's been robbed before, but he's never had anything really valuable taken. This is gonna set Rook back for a while. Too bad the cops have turned a blind eye. Ever since the crusade started up, the relations between norms and mutants has gone to pot. I've had rocks thrown through my windows, graffiti sprayed on the bricks outside. There's not much I can do, though. He's one of the few norms besides you who's eaten here. Seems like a typical cop. A little dim, and not too concerned about what happens in the mutant sections of town.
You want to try a slice of my chocolate pie? I can get you a piece to go if you like.